In this video, I'm going to be finishing up my gameplay on the Epic of the Peloponnesian War by Clash of Arms Games. I've commented quite a bit already on this, but what I'm going to do to finish this video out, I'm going to just give some brief recaps of each yearly turn that I'm doing. And as I'm going through this, I'm reminding anyone watching this that I am not playing by the rules as written. The rules as written were originally seasonal, basically seasonal terms with a yearly interface, and that makes for a very long, detailed game, especially considering there are 3 campaign turns each season. So I just wanted to simplify it and make it more broad brush. And I did a lot of things on the fly, of things that made sense to me at the time. And so with that in mind, that is how I approached this game. If you look under this game at Board Game Geek, you're going to see a wide array of opinions of what this game is. The most common rating by a large margin is 7 for whatever Board Game Geek ratings are worth, but the number of 4, 3, 2, and 1 ratings is quite substantial, so a lot of people had difficulty with this game. And no question, rules as written in the box are very, very hard and in some ways incomplete. And even when you get a rewrite of the rules, it's still not the easiest game to get into, and I had no interest in playing it that way. So that's a caveat to mention. With my playthrough isn't going to really teach you how to play this game. It's how I played it, and I don't go into every detail of the things that I covered. Anyway, a while ago, maybe a year ago, I did a video called on this channel called Unplayable Games, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying. And in that video, I kind of described what my approach is to all of these games. And these include games that many find unplayable, but I tend to not agree with the fact that they're unplayable. They're not for me. I can always find a way to play with a game. So if you're interested in that theory, you can go back and find that video, or I might try to link it in the comments if I can figure out how to do that. Anyway, we'll go down to the map and I'll show you the last few plays in this scenario that I'm playing. Thank you for watching. So in the year 428 BC, a number of things happened this turn. The picture that you're looking at is basically just showing Attica, and you have Spartan raids with Corinthian units occurring there this turn. There were other things that happened too. For one, there was a revolt again in Macedon. There was another revolt in Chalcidice, and further another revolt in Lesbos. So these are all things the Athenian players going to have to deal with. During card play, there was a leader death card. So Pericles died, and he's historically died anyway from the plague, but in my game the plague didn't happen. So but he died and now is no longer in the game. Also, Argos ended its neutrality and actually joined the Athenian League. So this kind of puts a little bit of a thorn in the side of the Spartans in their area. There were also raids. Nicia, who is an Athenian admiral, also launched some raids in Phocis and Locris. And as you can see in the picture, the Corinthians raided Attica. And as the Athenian player, I tried to address the revolts in the different places, but those take time to resolve. And of course, some of the way the Athenians handled these revolts when they put them down is through, fairly large execution. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Anyway, that's what happened on uh, in the year 428 BC. So next I'm on to 427 BC, and this was a wild turn. First of all, Macedon had a revolt in Pella. There was another revolt in Caldace. There was another revolt in Lesbos, revolt in Argolid, and I guess in Argos. Then the plague finally hit in Athens, and um, Euclides died in Athens, and they lost about 1,000 hoplite troops, 2,000 light troops, and crews for 100 um, ships. So that was kind of an ugly turn of events for Athens. Then there were storms in the North Aegean Sea, but this had really no effect this year. Nobody really went up into that area. Then the Spartans had one of their leaders, Diamporos, who was accused of treason, decided to get out of Dodge, and he fled to Persia. So he's pretty much out of the game, but at least he didn't die. Then the Spartans decided to try to get to Lesbos. They wanted to stir up some rebellion there, which is already having, revolts in the cities, but he was intercepted by some fleets from Attica, Athenian fleets, and a battle ensued in Attican waters, and the Spartans ended up being outmatched, and they got out. They retreated into a safe area, which they were able to find one. And then later on, the Eurylochus got the fleet going again, and they did arrive at Chios. So that's about as far as they got, I believe. And that's pretty much how the turn ended up. Athens did try to address some of the revolts, which I think are probably going to resolve successfully, but we'll have to wait and see. So that was the 427 turn. The picture that you're looking at here is where the initial naval battle occurred, and didn't go well for the Spartans. Then going on to 426 BC, there were a bunch of revolts again in Macedon, Chalcidice, Lesbos, and Argos. And then an event happened. Cnemus, who was a Spartan general, died from a wound that he incurred somehow. Then Eurylochus got into a naval battle with the Chios forces. There was no noteworthy admiral for the Athenians there, but there was losses at sea, and then the medium city Teos was attacked, but the garrison was able to hold off the Spartan forces. So the Spartans kind of left to save what they could. But later on, they tried to get to Lesbos. They met in with another Chios fleet, and there was a battle. Both sides lost some ships, but the Spartans ended up winning, and they were able to make a landing in Lesbos. Meanwhile, the Athenians raided in Phocis, in Epidaurus, and in Boeotia, and they tried to quell the rebellions that had broken out in some of the cities throughout their controlled region. But the picture that I selected for this basically just shows one of the fleet battles that happened near Chios. So in 425 BC, we are continuing on, and There were a few revolts, um, but what ended up happening is Eresus, which is a city in Lesbos, ended up defecting to the Spartans. And of course, there was a revolt already going on the major city of Lesbos. There was a revolt again in Macedon. And so this unfortunately didn't play out too well because, I mean, Lesbos was attempted to fall to the Spartans, but they failed in their efforts. It was close. I mean, but it didn't happen yet. And then what happened is the peace embassy card came out. And in this scenario, that card calls for an end of the game, depending on what the situation is. When I counted up the points, Athens, I think, had barely had enough for a victory, just got out of the realm of a draw. So that's kind of where the game ended up for me. So anyway, so this is an Athenian victory up until the year 425 with a temporary peace, and then no doubt the Peloponnesian War will resume at some future time because things clearly are not settled yet. Thank you for watching.